Hello, everybody. It's the agents of Kill Team. Oh. And we're tired, so tired. I forgot our usual intro.
My God, it's past midnight.
Midnight.
We haven't played past midnight in I don't remember how long.
So we started. Well, you arrived at 8.
Yes,
and we've taken 4 hours to play our first game of Kill Team.
But it was entirely brand new. We'd never done it before.
And we haven't really played.
We recorded it, which always adds time on as well.
Yeah, hour and a half it took us to actually set up.
Yes, but we did sit there for a long time reading the cover rules.
We hadn't punched the tokens out, things like that.
We hadn't done that yet. I mean, we'd never even looked at the deployment rules before. So
no.
I don't think 4 hours for your very first ever game is that bad.
It definitely accelerated as we had less figures and we got more familiar with what they would do. So what would you, I think probably the best thing to do with this wash-up is we don't waffle for a long time.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 good things, Pete, what would you 3 good things you would say?
3 good things. We'll try and give you 3 good things first. Yeah. We are entirely plucking this out of the air as we go. Yeah. And we hadn't planned this at all. We just figured we'd give you a quick wash-up on how the game went. One of the first things that's good, I think, in this game is once you get used to the actions you can do, it's very quick.
Yes.
It's very, very quick. You can just say, I'm going to move, and I know that's going to mean I'm going to be about here, or I'm going to dash, or I'm going to shoot. And the combat is fantastic. So, yeah, nice and quick. Actions are very easy. I'm listing hundreds of things here now.
First one.
Actions are very easy to master quickly.
Yes, I would agree with that. Definitely, and I'm going to pick up on something you said for our second one, which is that the attacking system and shooting system is very swift. Mm-hmm. You seem to have a bit of better handle on the modifiers than I did. I didn't really know what I was doing, but as long as one of you knows what you're doing, you roll the dice, they cancel out, and you do your damage. Yeah. So that definitely, it's really dynamic. It's probably more dynamic even than Underworld, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so, because you've got the alternate activation sequence. You could do something which might charge someone and take them out of action or whatever, but then that might leave you massively in the open for somebody else to then take you out.
But I actually kind of meant more in combat, it feels more dynamic, because you haven't got the card. In Underworld, you have that card into play. You've got none of that here. So it's basically pretty much you roll the dice, and whatever the outcome is, that's the outcome. Nobody suddenly go, but I've got and stop it. So I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did have. There are some abilities where you can suddenly ignore dice and stuff like that. So you can suddenly turn things around a bit. But yeah, I think that definitely gives you much more of a back and forth. It's still usually quite quick.
Yes.
I remember thinking when I read those rules, I could see you just get into this snailmate where each person just keeps stopping the other person's attacks. But
rarely happened. Dice rolls pretty average. I think we both had good luck and bad luck. Yeah, so I think it was, I really like dynamic combat.
That's the second one, is the dynamic combat. Yeah. The third one for me, I think, is the objective system. And I know it probably worked a bit better for me than it did for you, but I can see how that can make each game quite different when you suddenly have this set of objectives you've got to work towards.
Yeah, I really like how that worked. Yours seemed to dovetail a little bit better with what you wanted to do than mine did.
They did a bit in this situation.
Also, we don't want to talk too much about the game.
No.
Maybe we shouldn't have played them because we played an open scenario. We didn't try and play an Octarius scenario. So maybe we didn't. Yeah. Maybe that was a bad decision. But I don't know. I quite like them. I might come on to why I didn't like them so much and the negative things. So there's not really anything to do with them at all.
No.
But yeah, I like the way they choose them. That's really quite cool.
Yeah, I like the fact that you pick two.
You pick two, put one back. So you kind of, each time you're choosing the best of. That's really nice.
It gives you that ability to sort of go, this one's a bit crap, that one's okay. And then you get another 2, but you might then find you're in that situation where you're like, oh no, I've got 2 awesome ones. Now I want both of them and I don't know what to do.
Choosing Underworld cards like that would be quite interesting.
That'd be fantastic, I think. So those are sort of 3 main
my
good
quick
things.
Third thing I'm going to quickly add in, so because we had 2, it would be a fourth. But
you had, it's fine.
I will say I really like how your the way the alternate activations works is your tactics change throughout the turn. You have a plan, and when the person blows up your one person, you can't do that plan anymore. Or when things go a little bit better than you thought they would, you've suddenly got a different thing to do. So I really like that. I really like it. Was on the fly changing, and I never felt, even though, well, I don't want to spoil it, but even though I was on the back foot for a lot of the game, I never felt like I was out of the game.
Yeah.
I could keep fighting, and it was still good fun.
Yes, and another aspect to that is as the game progresses and more of your fighters get taken out, and they do die very quickly. It's not like these
once
fights
you engage.
Once you engage the enemy, people just die left, right and centre really quickly. But because of that, that alternate activation sequence goes much, much faster, which is also great.
Yeah, definitely. So 3 things that were less good. I don't know if we can do 3, or we could definitely get a couple, I reckon.
They're not so much related to the game as the package that you get of the game. There's no quick reference sheet there for you to summarise events. Like in Necromunda, you have the card which shows you the different actions and stuff you can do. And especially with all of the different, like all the weapons have different things on them. Like they've got stun and mortal wounds and splash.
There is an appendix,
and blast.
but that could do with not being in the book.
Exactly. That should be a separate sheet, I feel, and that kind of means you end up continuing to go, oh, what's that one again? Oh yeah, I'll look at that. Oh yeah.
I definitely feel like there's a whole possibility of player aids for this game. There's a lot of things to track. There's wounds to track because everybody's got more wounds. There's wounds to track. There's tokens to track. There's abilities to track. There's CP. There's victory points. There's the guard have special abilities that they can use. I feel like somebody somewhere is crying out for an app tracker.
It does feel like that.
Yeah. So
even just having fighter cards that you can write your stats on, and then have like a something you could laminate, and then have a wipe clean sort of marker type job. That would be a low text, perfectly good solution. That would be handy in that situation.
And I think that kind of ties into my thing that I not dislike about the game, but is a drawback, particularly for beginners to this type of game. If you're looking for it to be an easy way into 40k, it is, because it's a lower price ceiling, and it is an easier game to play, I think. But it's hella complicated first game in, I think.
Especially even just like the setup and stuff. It did seem very, what do I do here kind of thing with that. So I think the setup was okay. I mean, like a little bit, if you were new to it, I think it would be a bit confusing. But we got there. And I think next time it wouldn't be difficult. I think we'd find it faster, definitely.
But I just found there's no gentle intro into the game. So you
kind of feels like there should be a little pamphlet with like 6 easy missions with a couple of operatives to just run you through the basics, especially things like cover and stuff like that.
Especially as GW have clearly decided that the Octarius, the team focus boxes, are going to have extra super duper complex kill teams, so they're going to have all the special rules, they're going to have all the extra stuff, and it's every single one of these fighters which we've got printed out here has, well, pretty much every single one has a special rule, and often a unique action, and try to remember that, and try to remember your CPs, and try to remember your TAC ops all at once was very complicated. And I think it would be easier, like you say, to have like here is just standard fighters, standard troopers. I think we both had standard troopers on each team.
I think we both had like a guardsman or a veteran, and I had like a orc boy or something like that.
So here
is
a standard how you do your fighting shooting. Now we're going to add in this special rule. Now we're going to add in a game where you use CP command points. And I just think that would have been a little bit easier. I mentioned this, and I think in our 8 things to look out for video, there's an awful lot going on for your first play, and trying to remember it all. We got to compare things to Underworlds. It is like suddenly arriving at a game with, in turn 3 when you've got upgrades on,
everything's going on.
Everything's going on. You're kind of thrown straight in. I mean, we both made mistakes off the bat.
We both had models out of place. We both hadn't done things that we probably could have done to get some early glory and early victory points, that kind of thing. So it definitely feels like you go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in your first game, and it feels like there could be a little ramp up there.
I think if you're playing out of the compendium, that would be not so bad, because I think you mentioned in the game that the compendium ones, they're kind of like a stopgap. They're the stopgap until GW roll out all these different kill team zones they're thinking of doing. So they haven't got like the the guardsmen have this ancillary support, which is a whole other thing
different
that's
thing,
not even in the core rules. It's just an extra thing that they can do, and all that kind of stuff is complicated. So it's a little bit complex for first time through.
Yeah.
But as we said, by the end of it, you know what you're doing. I mean, we've been playing for 4 hours by the end, so when you do come to watch the video, the last turn is a little bit ragged.
It is a little bit, I'm going to do this right, I'm going to do that right, I'm going to do this right, and then the last round took about like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like,
the first round probably took us an hour. It's just us mumbling and shouting.
And I'm not sure
dice.
tactically it was the most astute. I don't know.
I think by the time you get near the end like that, it's kind of tactics have gone out the window.
Haven't quite worked out yet what the tactics are.
My third bad thing about this, because we've got 2, and I do have one third one, and that's how they've addressed cover, and because they've got things that are visible, things that are obscured, and things that are in cover.
Yeah.
And the wording of the rules is just a bit crap, I find.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to read it about 3-4
times
before
and got it wrong on the fly in the game.
We probably got it wrong a few times in the game.
It does make sense. When I say I got it wrong, I think I got it in my head wrong.
Yeah.
But I think we played it okay. I'm pretty sure we did make mistakes.
I mean, I'm sure we got it wrong a few times, but yeah, it does make sense once you play it through a few times. The wording in the book though is god awful.
Yeah.
So
and visibility is confusing. These guys are concealed, then they can't be seen, but they're
there is definitely a level of abstract in the status, so that you almost need like a token or something to represent them when they're
concealed,
when they've got a concealment order, because they're almost invisible, especially when they're behind cover. But it's like they're not. I mean, that guy stands like 6 foot above the fence. So
yeah, I like the way just as a thing I like the way the concealed and engaged rule works. It takes a little bit to get our head around again, but I like the way that works, and it adds lots of tactical variation of when do I go engaged and when do I conceal. That was pretty cool. But yeah, on balance, we'll definitely be playing this again.
Oh yeah, more pluses than minuses, and I mean that first game, I just want to play more games now because I feel like I know what I'm doing. Yeah,
and I feel like, and I think I've really said this from the moment we opened the box, I feel like GW are pushing this down the narrative route. Yeah, because I think they want you to play the open play campaign's a bit wishy-washy. We're probably never going to play match play. We might. But that will be even more complicated, I think, because you've got equipment to add into it too.
We didn't do that in our game because it was just. But again, at the same time, you might find your equipment just go, okay, I'm just going to give these 5 guys hand grenades or something like that, and then you don't do anything.
Maybe I haven't really looked into it because I knew we weren't going to play it. But I think what I would really like was a narrative play that starts off almost like a lonely outpost of 2 orcs attacked by 4 deathcore or something, and so you could learn it slowly,
build it up.
But other than that, I think they're pushing you down the narrative play route, which I think we would definitely be doing. I really enjoyed the game, especially mid game. It was particularly good. Once we overcome our initial what are we doing, turns 2 and 3 were particularly good. Yeah. But
at the end of 3 and all of 4 were just mostly, we've only got a few stragglers left, so we're just going to run through it. And I think a lot of games are going to be like that. Yeah. That people drop like flies, and I think that you are going to look at people might have said, it's only 4 activations or 4 rounds basically in the game, but 4 is, you're probably never going to hardly ever need 4. It feels to me anyway.
I think it's hard to know on the basis of one game. Yeah.
But the speed at which you can get across the board and the speed at which you can engage
I think I don't think you're ever going to be looking for a turn 5.
No, that's definitely true. Yeah. So there you go. There's our quick ramble of approximately 4 good things and 3 maybe not so good things about the game. I have to say, and I think you're the same opinion as me, Robin, that those bad things do not anywhere near outweigh the good things, and this is definitely a top game.
Definitely, and I think I'm really looking forward to it. I think on balance of one game, it is a narrative play rather than a match play experience for me. But we're only just learning, so we'll see how we go.
We might find that the match play games are easier when we're playing with other kill teams and stuff with less special rules and stuff like that.
So. Definitely the case. Yeah. So a little bit of extra brain work needed on the special rules, but the actual game itself is very fluid. and works really nicely.
I feel like once you've played one or two games with them, you're going to start to just know what the special rules are with some. So you're going to know you want to keep your medic near your other fights because they've got that ability that saves wounds, and you're going to want to keep your comms guy near your leader because he enables you to do that thing to give it to everybody.
Yeah.
And some of those things just become automatic straight away. So
yes.
I feel like repetition is the key here, but that's the same with all games.
It is the same, especially GW games.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Repetition is the key here, Pete. Repetition is the key.
Yep. Repetition.
It's key.
It's key. So hope you enjoyed that one, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.